Rising heat, floods, and unpredictable seasons, climate change is knocking on our door. Join us on Climate Care Fridays at 11:30 a.m. on Women Radio 91.7. Get insight, stories, and solutions.
Welcome to Climate Care today, Friday, the 28th of August, 2026. My name is Susan Kelechi Ihoma, and you are welcome to Climate Care on Women Radio WFM 91.7, Nigeria's first radio station for women and their families. So today we are talking about something we see almost every day. Our topic for today is, why do we burn waste? From our neighborhoods to our roadsides, especially this is salary week. A lot of oblate, a lot of enjoyment, everybody wants to eat what they have been sacrificing for all through the month. So from our neighborhoods to roadside spaces, people set fire, to piles of rubbish, and they watch the smoke disappear into the air. But here is my question to everyone listening to us this morning. When we burn our waste, does it really disappear? Or are we simply moving the problem from the ground into the air we breathe? Your guess is as good as mine. So we are asking on Climate Care this morning, why do we burn waste? What does it cost our health and environment? And more importantly, as a solution-driven program, what must change? Let's dive into this as soon as possible. Why do people burn waste? Before we blame individuals, we need to understand the reality. Is waste collection unavailable or unreliable? Because if you look at certain states, for example, Lagos, you will see heaps and heaps of dirt littered all around the streets. Yes. And so you would ask, are disposable services affordable to everyone? Because we're looking at, even for the average person in our communities, are there enough collection points, or has burning simply become a habit for us as a people? People need, practical alternatives. You can demand responsible waste management without providing functional waste management system. And that is one of the things we are looking at this morning. You cannot demand that people begin to dispose their waste responsibly, whereas the waste management, is not we don't have, I beg your pardon, we don't have functional waste management system. It's a huge problem, because when we stay for months, for weeks, and trust me, every day we have waste from what we eat, from the chicken we eat, the different things we do. We just bring out waste on a daily basis. So it's important that we have functional waste management systems in place. So what are we actually putting into the air? Because why do we burn waste? I would keep asking this question. Open burning, as it were, does not make waste harmless. I need every listener to understand this, because it's the end of the month. Some people, some families take it as a period of cleanup. So the things they don't need, you see them gathering them and burning them. So the fact that you gather those things and burn them does not mean that what you have burned that has gone into the air is harmless. It releases smoke. We all see it, and pollutants into our environment. So, it's important that when plastics, when rubber and other materials are burnt, the pollution can become even more dangerous. That smoke we get from burning some of these things, you have used them over time, you don't know the chemicals used in that production, and so you come out and burn it in public, and this smoke diffuses into different homes, passers-by, and what have you. So, it's even more dangerous. And what we throw away can eventually come back to us through the air we breathe, whether we like it or not. Those things that we throw away, yes, you heard me right. Those things we throw away can eventually come back to us through the air we breathe, the soil around us. Because you are burning these things on the floor. And some of us will still pass through those places and come into our homes. So when you match those surfaces and you come into your home, what are you doing? And sometimes the water that we take depends on some of these things. You would ask me why. The pipes that bring in water into your apartment, you don't see them. What if they have cracks? What if, and when rain falls or whatever, after burning those things, the rain carries this dirt and transfers it into our gutter, into different spaces, and somehow it finds its way into the pipe that brings in water into our apartments. So we have to also look at all of these things. Now, you would ask, why should families care? Yes, some people might wonder, I didn't bother now. It's not me. It's not my household that burnt it. Someone burnt it. Why should I care? It is not just an environmental conversation. We have said it on climate care severally. Every activity we carry out affects the next person. The smoke from burning waste affects the people living around it. Yes, it does affect the people living. You might not be the one who directly burns these things, but who are the people who live around? We have children in homes. We have the elderly. We have women who are homemakers, holding it forth at home while the men go out and all of that. And we have women doing businesses in our communities. We have other vulnerable groups like the elderly. We have persons with disabilities who live in these communities. And these people, their immune system might be compromised. So if you have a compromised immune system already, imagine inhaling this smoke, to add to it. So it's a huge problem. When you have to inhale such smoke. So the question will now be like, where can I put my rubbish? Oh, they are not coming to dispose waste. Oh, the management system is not coming. Where do you want me to put? Do you want me to pack? Please, just hold it. I understand because I am also not living in the bush. I live in a house. So I also understand how some of these things work. Where can I put my rubbish? What thing we should look at is, what kind of environment am I creating for my family and my neighbors? That should be more important to you. That should be something that you should look into more importantly than even thinking about saying, oh, what if this, what if that? It's important that we look at other ways that are even effective for us to manage our waste effectively. It's also important that as we look at this, we also ensure that while trying to remove our assumed debt from our own families, we are not polluting the environment, because at the end of the day, it will still come into both your own house and the houses of your neighbors. Everyone gets to inhale that smoke. Some people live in a large compound where there are many people, and trust me, everybody gets to inhale that contaminated air back into their system. That air is polluted. That smoke from everything you have gathered and burnt is going back to your system. So we need to, address this critically. And it's good we're having this conversation, especially as it's weekend, end of the month, cleanups are happening in families. Parents are trying to reshuffle while they prepare for their children going back to school and what have you. So we also need to know how to effectively dispose our waste. If you are just joining us, this is WFM 91.7 and the program is Climate Care. Our topic for today is something that every household needs to listen to. Why do we burn waste? You can be a part of this program. be a part of this program by dialing our phone line 0700 0917 917 09155 917 917. We have our toll-free line 0800 1235 917. You can do well to drop us a message on WhatsApp on 070 31756 08155 917 917. Hey, you might be in the office, you might be driving. You can do well to watch us live on YouTube at WFM 917 or on our social media handles at WFM 91.7. You can also listen on the go at www.wfm917. You are still tuned in to Women Radio WFM 917, and the time is 19 minutes before noon. And our topic for today is, why do we burn waste? So moving forward, it's important that we also look at another important one. What does waste burning, have to do with climate change? Yes, your guess is as good as mine. So many people are wondering, Susan, what is it again? How does it affect climate? Waste burning contributes to air pollution and it releases greenhouse gases and other climate pollutants. So yes, but there is another important connection beyond the fact that, when you burn these things, it releases greenhouse gas emissions and other climate pollutants. Another one would be, the fact that poor waste management is a community problem. Yes, it is a community. It's not a family issue. It's not a one person, oh, it doesn't concern me. I'm just clearing dirt from my house. Is it at the expense of your neighbor? But come to think of it, when you burn these things, you are not going to prevent it from, the smoke is going to go into even your own house and other people's houses. But climate change makes the consequences of environmental neglect even harder to ignore. We as a people, because again, we are a set of persons who are used to, oh, I've been doing this for donkey years, it doesn't matter. No, don't bring that. Low. The only constant thing in life is change. And if we must follow other emerging societies and countries of the world who are also grappling with climate change, we must be intentional about how we manage our waste. We must be more intentional about it. We need to move from a culture of just get it out of my sight, which is what most of us do. Oh, just remove it from my house, just remove it from my space, to one of how do we begin to reduce? How do we begin to reuse? We have talked about planting your old jeans instead of burning it and the fumes are very thick, covering everywhere. Can we use it, put sand and plant something? It could be aloe vera. It could be any of the leaves, even scent leaf that you could use to make delicious stews for your family. We also need to look at ways that we can use to recover some of these things. We don't just want to always say, oh, let's just dispose. No, we need to reduce, reuse, recover, and most importantly, it's important that we recycle. This is one thing that is lacking in this part of the world. If you look at some developed countries, you find out they have a place where people are even paid for disposing their plastics effectively. We see this. We see the videos all over social media. So it's also important that we look at ways to recycle and responsibly dispose. We can responsibly dispose without harming the next person. We can responsibly dispose without having to, cause a menace. You might take fruits and all of those things. When you slice the back of your fruits and all of that, you would also put it in whatever you have planted within the garden in your house. And hey, that has served you as manure. We don't need to pollute our environment in a bid to dispose our waste. And it's important that as we talk about these things, we need accountability mechanisms. What should our communities do? What should our government do? Everyone has a role to play. It's not for one person. We all have a role to play in this. I mean, individual responsibility matters for us because we're speaking to communities, we're speaking to families, but individuals cannot solve a systemic waste problem alone. It's very important that we establish that. You understand? We need one, a reliable and affordable waste collection mechanism. We need a reliable and affordable. I mean, not everyone can afford some of the fees that are paid for some of these things. So we are looking at profiling solutions that are sustainable. That is why we're saying, how reliable is it and how affordable is this waste collection system that we want to introduce in our communities is very important. How accessible, are the waste disposal points? Because sometimes people will be like, I'm too tired, Jare, let me just drop it here. No, we need to look at the accessibility for everyone in the community. How accessible are the disposal points? It doesn't need to be, too far. We need accessible points where these things will be dropped, and then if there's a waste management system in place, they come there at designated points to pick it up. That is very, very important. We also need better recycling systems. We need improved recycling systems. And trust me, we'll be open to such partnership to also promote such interventions that will enable us have um, better recycling systems. We need to look at that culture because we use plastics, we use nylons, we use different things that can be recycled. So can we look at, how we can improve our recycling system as it is? One other important thing is public education, and that is what we are doing on ClimateCare here on WFM 91.7. We are educating the public. We want the public to be better informed about how to effectively dispose their waste without turning it to harm for the next person, because some persons might not know that burning their waste might directly or indirectly harm their families and also harm the next person. I mean, you see, so we not need to also address that. It's also important that we look at stronger enforcement against dangerous open burning. If people are caught burning things in the open, how do we look at a mechanism? Because we live in a society where if A does it and nobody seems to talk about it or maybe clamp down on them, you would see that every household begins to do it because they see it as something that is normal. They normalize it without knowing that it is dangerous to their health. So we also need to ensure that there are enforcements against dangerous open burning. We do not want it in our open spaces, in our communities and what have you. And another important thing will be community-led waste management initiatives. I think we need to get to that place in our different communities. Even if you live in the cities, trust me, you are a community. Can we look at ways in each of our communities where we have our own waste management initiative so that way we effectively dispose our waste? Whether you live in an estate, you live in an open place, wherever you might live. And we are saying this because we want it to be relatable to the average person who lives anywhere at all. We want you to understand that, yes, you can effectively manage your waste within your community. You can come together, you have landlords association and what have you. What are the community-led waste management initiatives that you are driving? And if there's something that is very, very pertinent, waste management must be treated as essential public infrastructure. It is a an essential public infrastructure and not an afterthought. It shouldn't be, oh, I didn't even think about it. Don't do that. If you did not, if you thought it through to get things that you would use both in your family, in anywhere, then you should think of effective ways of disposing it. So again, I ask this question once more. If you are just joining us, you are tuned into Climate Care on Women Radio. Why do we burn waste? The time is 10 minutes before 12 noon. So my question to you would be, why do we burn waste? Sometimes it's because, like I said at the beginning, we look at it as there is no convenient alternative. So if I burn it, it will just disappear. Sometimes because it is cheap and easy, we feel, oh, I can just light it. I have the lighter, I have the maybe you have a kerosene or whatever you use to light up. And sometimes simply because we do it because we are used to it. Today, I'm here to disabuse your mind around this. This is how we have always done it. That is the average mature person. From the years of my ancestors, we have been doing it and nothing happened. We've heard a lot of those things. But it is important that it is a climate issue, that we bring it to your notice. This is how we have always done it. Cannot be our climate policy and all of that. But waste does not disappear because we burn it. If there's something I want you to take away today, it is that waste does not disappear because we burn it. The smoke goes somewhere. The pollution goes somewhere. And ultimately, it comes back to our communities. It comes back to us as a people. The solution is not simply telling people don't burn waste. No. The solution is building systems that make responsible waste management possible, affordable, and accessible. I'm Susan Ihoma, and this is Climate Care on Women Radio WFM 91.7. Thank you for listening. Special appreciation to my producer Aisha Sani and my executive producer Tom Okewale Shonaya for making Climate Care possible. As would always say, have a fantastic weekend and do not forget, stay informed, stay responsible, and remain climate conscious. Do have an amazing weekend ahead. Until I come your way next Friday, it's bye for now.